Have you ever noticed how people love to talk about money, but almost never have real results to show? There's a fatal flaw. The ones who talk the most about wealth are usually the ones who have the least. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the classic Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has always taught that true wealth is built quietly, away from curious eyes and judgmental neighbors. Because when you show off too much, you attract envy, unnecessary taxes, reckless spending, and even invisible enemies that sabotage your progress. Today, I'm going to reveal 20 ways to get rich in silence, and in this first part, you'll discover the first 10. Each one carries a powerful financial lesson that can completely change your life. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get ready. What you're about to hear isn't a motivational fluff, it is the raw and practical reality of money. The first way to get rich in silence is to invest in quiet assets that don't attract attention. Kiyosaki always emphasized the importance of owning assets that put money in your pocket, rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or businesses that run without you being there. But the secret is silence. Don't tell neighbors, relatives, or friends how much you're stacking. Once money starts working for you, eyes start watching, requests start pouring in, and envy creeps out of the shadows. The lesson is clear. If you want to truly build wealth, you must learn to accumulate discreetly. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. And here's a spoiler, the next step is even simpler, but it's exactly where most people fail. The second way is to live below the standard you can actually afford. While most people raise their lifestyle as soon as their income rises, the silent rich keep things modest. They know that every dollar spent on appearances is a dollar not invested in assets. You can earn more, but if your expenses rise at the same pace, you'll stay broke, just with fancier clothes and bigger debts. Kiyosaki said the middle-class trap is living for appearances. The silent rich would rather drive a normal car, live in an ordinary neighborhood, while behind the scenes stacking investments that keep multiplying. That's real financial intelligence, sacrificing vanity today for freedom tomorrow. And if that already bothers the ones chasing status, wait for the next principle. It exposes one of the biggest mistakes that keeps people broke. The third way is to stay quiet about your income. The common mistake is oversharing, telling people how much you made, where you invested, how much you've accumulated. That only sparks curiosity, competition, and worse, attracts people who only care about your wallet. The silent rich never show their bank statements or brag about new investments at social gatherings. They know money grows faster in anonymity. That silence is a shield against financial leeches who show up only when they smell abundance. Here's the takeaway. The same way you protect your passwords, you must protect your financial wins. And if this feels extreme, buckle up. The next step involves something everyone loves: spending. The fourth way is to control emotional spending. Kiyosaki always stressed that money should work for you, not be wasted trying to cover up frustrations. People who chase status through shopping are actually feeding their own poverty. The silent rich spend strategically, never emotionally. They don't buy the newest phone just to show it off, only when it serves as a tool to create more value. Every expense is seen as a potential investment. This mindset shields them from the endless cycle of earning and wasting that keeps millions trapped. Emotional spending is loud, flashy, and attention-grabbing, but it destroys wealth. Strategic spending is silent and creates freedom. And if controlling your spending matters, the next principle shows you how to control your environment too. The fifth way is to walk away from social circles that drain your financial energy. Negative, broke, or spendthrift friends will always try to drag you down into their habits. The silent rich carefully choose their circles, avoiding people who only talk about flashy spending, chasing trends, and complaining. Kiyosaki said it best: "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your financial future." Silence isn't just not talking. It's refusing to expose yourself to the noise of waste. The environment you're in shapes your choices with money. If you're surrounded by spenders, you'll spend. If you're surrounded by investors, you'll invest. That quiet choice alone can be life-changing. But if picking the right circle is powerful, the next step shows you how to secure your future even further. The sixth way is to accumulate passive income assets and reinvest them silently. The magic of compound interest works best when nobody's pressuring you to withdraw or spend. The silent rich know reinvesting is way more powerful than just earning. They let time do the heavy lifting, putting money into rentals, rates, dividend stocks, or businesses that grow in the background. While others brag about quick wins, the silent rich let their assets speak for themselves in the future. Kiyosaki always insisted passive income is the real path to freedom, and that income grows best in silence, without everyone watching and questioning every move. But if that already makes sense, wait until you see the next way, which is even more controversial. The seventh way is to use debt to your advantage, quietly. While most drown in credit cards and car loans, the silent rich understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. They borrow to buy assets that pay for themselves, like rental properties or controlled leveraged investments. Nobody knows, nobody sees. While others pay interest, they collect income. That Kiyosaki lesson, the financial system can either enslave you or set you free. The choice lies in how you use credit. And silence is key here, because if you start telling people you're investing with borrowed money, most won't get it, and many will criticize you. But this is just the beginning, because the next step reveals something even bigger. The eighth way is to never rely on just one paycheck and to build multiple streams of income. The silent rich never put all their eggs in one basket. While most people cling to a single job, they quietly build side income streams, investments, online businesses, royalties, rental cash flow. That reduces risk and multiplies opportunity. And the best part, they don't need to tell anyone. The fewer people who know where your money comes from, the safer you are. Silence here is a shield against envy, against dependency. Kiyosaki always said, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. And if multiple incomes already sound powerful, the next step takes on one of the middle class's biggest obsessions. The ninth way is to stop chasing social validation through money. The silent rich don't need to post pictures of trips, cars, or luxury outfits to prove their worth. They know true wealth is freedom, not status. Every dollar you don't waste on impressing strangers is another building block toward independence. The problem is that most people trade future freedom for short-term applause. Kiyosaki called this the rat race, living to impress while sinking deeper into debt. The silent rich step off that treadmill. And here's the provocation. Are you building wealth or just buying likes? That question sets the stage for the 10th and final way of this first part. The 10th way is to let results speak louder than words. The silent rich don't have to convince anyone, because their future life is the proof of their present decisions. While others waste energy trying to show success today, they quietly stack assets that will show success tomorrow. Kiyosaki always said, financial freedom isn't something you announce. It's something you live. When you're debt-free, with passive income covering your lifestyle, silence becomes the loudest display of power. It's not about telling your story, it's about living the outcome. And here's the hook. If these 10 ways already seem powerful, just wait until you discover the next 10, where you'll see how the silent rich build invisible empires and protect their fortunes from everything. The 11th way is learning how to use companies and legal structures as financial shields. Most people do not realize the rich do not play the same game as the poor and middle class. While workers get their taxes deducted from every paycheck before they even touch the money, the silent rich build corporations to invest, to spend, and only then pay taxes on what remains. This isn't magic, it's strategy. And silence here is essential. Nobody wants to hear that you legally pay less in taxes than your neighbor while earning more. That sparks resentment instantly. But Kiyosaki was blunt. If you don't understand the difference between working for money and having money working through a legal structure, you'll always be enslaved by the system. Don't be fooled. If you fail to protect your money, you become an easy target. This move might be invisible from the outside, but it changes the game entirely. And what comes next shows you how to turn every gain into a multiplying machine. The 12th way is reinvesting profits silently. The biggest mistake of people who never grow wealthy is that they blow their first win as if it were their last. A bonus check? They spend it on a trip. A dividend? They buy a car. And that's how they kill their golden goose. The silent rich do the opposite. They reinvest every dollar. They know that $1,000 spent disappears instantly, but $1,000 reinvested can snowball into millions. This is the invisible discipline of compound interest, that silent force working every day until it turns into a financial tsunami. From the outside, no one sees it happening because there's no flashy spending. But one day, that silent investor wakes up with unstoppable wealth. Here's the truth. If you don't have the discipline to reinvest, you'll never have the discipline to get rich. And if you thought that was hard, the next secret dives even deeper: knowledge. The 13th way is learning constantly about money without ever announcing it. The silent rich devour books few people care about, analyze boring financial reports, and invest in courses or mentors without bragging online. They know knowledge is a weapon, and a weapon only works if you don't show it to the enemy. The poor talk about what they know, the rich apply what they learn. In silence. Kiyosaki always said, school teaches you to work for money, but never teaches you to make money work for you. Every lesson quietly learned is an invisible advantage. Picture two people. One spends every night binge-watching shows, the other studies investments. Who will be free in 10 years? The difference isn't in noise, it's in discipline. And if learning quietly is key, the next step is about something inevitable: failure. The 14th way is failing in silence and learning in silence. Failure is inevitable. But most people fail twice. First by making a mistake, and second by making their failure public. That attracts shame, criticism, and often discouragement. The silent rich take the opposite approach. They fall, get up, and learn quietly without an audience. Failure is a disguised teacher. Kiyosaki himself admitted he went broke more than once, but each collapse made him stronger and richer later. Failing silently is like training behind closed doors. When you show up, you're already prepared to win. The lesson is harsh but true. Public failures kill dreams. Silent failures build discipline. And if hiding your mistakes is an advantage, shielding your wins requires an even greater strategy. The 15th way is diversifying assets without drawing attention. Diversification is the ultimate shield for wealth. But here's the catch. Talking too much about where you invest opens doors to envy, theft, competition, and even lawsuits. The silent rich spread their wealth into stocks, real estate, businesses, funds, even crypto, but nobody knows exactly where. That invisibility is natural armor against crises and against prying eyes. Think of it like an invisible army. Nobody knows where it is, but everyone knows it's powerful. Kiyosaki always said, "The middle class saves money in the bank, the rich build diversified portfolios." And the real secret isn't just diversification, it's staying silent about it. The 16th way is protecting financial information like it's classified. If someone asked how much money you have in the bank, what would you say? The silent rich have the answer. Nothing. They never reveal bank statements, contracts, or numbers. Why? Because information is power, and the fewer people know, the safer you are. It's shocking how many people brag about their finances, only to turn their words into ammunition against themselves. Kiyosaki used to say, "Money loves silence," and he meant it. If you guard your financial details, you'll never become a target. And if hiding information is gold, the next way is even sharper: acting without noise. The 17th way is appearing slow on the outside, but moving fast on the inside. The silent rich don't announce goals, post plans, or broadcast strategies. They just act, like a chess player who doesn't announce the winning move, but simply plays it. While the middle class wastes time talking about what they're going to do, the silent rich have already done it. Kiyosaki warned, the more people talk, the less they execute. Silence creates a competitive edge because nobody can sabotage what they don't know exists. This is one of the most invisible yet most powerful weapons of the wealthy. And if acting quietly is already a weapon, the next principle attacks the heart of middle-class financial mistakes. The 18th way is avoiding consumer debt and cutting wasteful spending without explanations. The silent rich don't owe anyone an explanation for not buying a new car, not upgrading to the latest iPhone, or not joining every night out. They simply don't do it. Every dollar saved is a brick in the wall of freedom. While the majority believes money is meant to be enjoyed, the rich know money is meant to multiply. Kiyosaki always warned that the middle class's biggest trap is mistaking liabilities for assets. If you live buying liabilities, you'll stay broke. Silence here is key. Don't waste energy explaining your financial choices. Just cut and stack. And if cutting expenses feels tough, the next step hits even closer to home: raising kids. The 19th way is teaching kids about money without flaunting wealth. Too many parents think the best gift is giving their children endless consumption, expensive toys, luxury trips, flashy gifts, but that creates dependency and financial ignorance. The silent rich raise their kids to understand assets, liabilities, and the value of freedom. They know the greatest legacy isn't inheritance, it's mindset. Kiyosaki learned this from his rich dad. Financial education early on transforms lives, and that education works best in silence, without spoiling kids with the illusion of guaranteed wealth. The truth is simple: financial literacy passed down is worth more than millions. And if legacy is powerful, the final step seals everything. The 20th way is accepting that true wealth is freedom, not fame. The silent rich don't care about headlines, applause, or public validation. They care about peace. The greatest display of wealth isn't a Ferrari in the garage. It is the freedom of never having to work out of obligation again. Fame is a prison. It attracts envy, scrutiny, and constant pressure. Anonymity, on the other hand, is protection. Kiyosaki always said money is a tool to buy time, and silence is the best investment because it shields you from distractions and keeps control in your hands. This is the ultimate victory, living free without having to prove anything to anyone. Now for the bonus. The silent rich know the system underestimates those who stay quiet, and that's their biggest advantage. While the world thinks they're ordinary, they're quietly building invisible empires. While the neighbor thinks they have nothing, they're stacking assets that guarantee freedom for generations. This is the law of financial life. The louder people brag, the less they have. The quieter people stay, the more they accumulate. Real power is invisible. And here's the closing. Robert Kiyosaki always taught that wealth doesn't come from luck, but from mindset and quiet choices. And as Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Now you know, knowledge applied in silence builds lasting wealth. If this video made you think differently, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to understand that silence is the most powerful weapon in the pursuit of financial freedom.